Hi, are you ready to get started? Let's begin with our word of the day today. Our word today is represent, and represent is a verb. It means to stand for or in place of. And that can be to stand for something or for someone, and it can also mean to stand in place of someone or something. We have an example sentence here that says three dots represent the letter S in the Morse code. So those three dots are standing for something or in place of. So in place of using the letter S, they're using three dots. Dot, dot, dot means the same thing as S in Morse code. And if you don't know anything about Morse code, that would be a great topic to research. It's how we used to communicate without telephones and without mobile devices back in the old days. All right, your second definition of represent means to act in place of. So if you're acting in place of someone else, you are standing up for them. So, for example, in this sentence, we have each state in the US elects two senators to represent it in Congress. So those people are representing, they're standing in place of all of the people in each state. So we can't possibly have everybody in each state going to Congress and saying, hey, this is what we like. So we send people who will represent or stand in place of us to say what we like and have our needs or our concerns heard by Congress. Now, we can use representatives in a lot of different ways. Sometimes when we have people who need others to speak for them. Maybe they have a language barrier. You might need someone to represent you and say, hey, this is what this person needs. You can use representatives in lots of different ways. Maybe you're on the student council in your school and you might be a representative for your class. You would go to your student council meetings and you would say, hey, my class is kind of interested in doing this. Then you are representing all the needs of the people in your class. Now, when we are breaking that one down so we can spell it easier, we break it into three chunks: rep, re, cent. Your first chunk is rep, r, p. Second chunk is re, r, e. And then our last chunk is cent. S, nt, cent. And this actually turns into a little bit of a z sound when we say it quickly, represent. So sometimes S's can represent a z sound as well. S can stand in place of a z sound. So be ready for those different sounds coming in there. Rep, resent. Every letter gets a sound in that word. Just want to put some eye stoppers in there so that you can study one piece of the word at a time until you know it. All right, let's get to work on some word attack. All right, this is where you want to pause the video and write down the words that you want to mark up. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in so you can check your work to these. In number one, we have the word frighten. You're going to scare someone, you're going to frighten them. I see the long I sound here, represented, there you go, using the word of the day again, represented with three letters. IGH can make a long I sound. That's all I see that really works together in this word. So I'm going to put my chunk line in. It's two chunks, frighten, or you could do frighten, whichever way you like better. I think I like having the 10 in that second chunk. Frighten. Don't frighten me. All right. Number two, I see A consonant E. Those work together to make a long A sound. And I also see UL that makes an ul sound. Now, there are a lot of words that have UL at the end of them, but most of them, all but five that I found, have an F with it. This is a suffix full, which is a chunk on its own. So when you see full at the end of a word with just one L, then it's going to be a UL for your ul sound. Now with this long A here, I think I'm going to be able to figure this word out pretty quickly. Great, great, and full, grateful. If you're grateful, you appreciate what you have. In number 3, I see M and N together. I bet there's a silent letter going on here. So I'm going to glue those two together. I also see an AU. AU works together to make an ah sound. Now I see a vowel here and a vowel sound here. So I think this is going to be a 2-chunk word. Let's sound it out. Aut. That's a chunk. And then autumn. Autumn. Autumn is another word for fall. It's that season when the leaves fall off the trees. All right. In this word, I see O-U-G-H. Now there are a couple different sounds that O-U-G-H can be. It can be a long O sound, like in dough, like cookie dough. It can be an ow sound, like in this word, which is b-ow, bow, like the bough of a tree. It can also be an ah sound, like in bot. And it can also be the sound oo, like in through, like we're going to go through it. So 4 different sounds for O-U-G-H. All right, number 5. I don't see anything that really works together except for the CH. We have that ch sound there. Ch, cham, that's one chunk. P, P, and then on, champion, champion. Now I sounded it out like on, but we get a little sloppy toward the end of this word and we say un here, champion. But if you say it perfectly to yourself, like champion, you'll get that O in the right place where you need it when it's time to spell this word. All right, and number 6. I see an ol at the end of this word spelled with L-E. This may be an sound, or it could be an or, so we'll keep that in mind. We might have to change that sound later. Let's sound it out. Com, comfort, comfortable, comfortable. Now I broke it up 1, 2, 3, 4 chunks there, but a lot of people pronounce this word in 3 chunks, comfortable. I recommend that you break it out into 4 chunks when you're trying to spell this word so that you don't leave anything out. All right, number 7, I see 2 C's together. Now I'm always looking for that next letter that follows a C, because the letter that follows a C could change the sound of this letter. It could change it to a S sound, which would mean if there was an E, I, or a Y here, then that would make this one a K sound and this one a S sound. But that's not the case here. We don't have an E, I, or a Y, so we know to use K. Now I also see a consonant E here. This could be a long A sound. Let's sound it out and see what happens. Ack, ack. Then you have and then 8. Accurate. Ooh, that didn't sound like a word, so let's make some changes. Let's try a long U sound now. Accurate, accurate. It sounds like accurate, doesn't it? Yeah, this is accurate. So that AE actually represents a short E sound in this word. And that may have just been that over time, we have just kind of changed the pronunciation of this word to making an S sound. It also happens in the word approximate as well. Approximate ends with a consonant E, and it makes an S sound at the end too. In number 8, I see 2 N's that need to go together. I also see an right here, and this might be an too. Now it could also make 2 different sounds. It could be a or it could be So let's see what happens with it. We have an, and then anna, ver, anniversary, anniversary. Great. So it worked out that both of these were in this word, If you wanted to try long A and an R and say sari, anniversary, you probably still would have heard this word and went, oh yeah, that's anniversary. An anniversary is a celebration of something that happened at the same time every year we celebrate it. All right. Number 9, I see a shun here. That's a special ending. We don't make all the sounds in this group of letters. We just say shun when we get to this. I also see 2 S's that work together to make a sus sound. And I see that there's a CI here. A lot of times this is a sh sound. So keep that in mind as we work through this one. We have that's a chunk by itself. So or sa, not sure which yet. Association. Association. Ooh, it doesn't sound like anything I know, but it sounds close to the word association. So sometimes CI can be a sh sound. In this word, it turned out that the C by itself is working alone. And then we have a long E sound right here. Association. Association. And association is something that connects people or things that are alike. Association. All right. Next up, we have AU making an ah sound, I bet, right here. TH goes together. This could be an but I'm going to try an O sound. And it looks like we have one, two, three, 4 vowel sounds in here. So that'll be 4 chunks. We have Thor, Thor, authority, authority. Now, again, sloppy English, we actually don't pronounce this as an at least not here in the Midwestern United States. We say authority, but the correct pronunciation would be authority. All right, and last one, we have a special ending right here. I see this shun spelled with 2 S's. That also happens in the word expression and discussion. And I don't see anything else that works together, so let's sound it out. D, that's a prefix. Decompression. Decompression means to reverse compression. So if you're compressing something, you're making it smaller, you're pushing it down. If you are decompressing, you are letting off on that and taking some pressure off. All right, so that's your word attack. We had a couple of different things to watch out for. Sometimes when we think there may be 2 different sounds, sometimes we can group them together. Other times when we think they might work together, we might need to separate them and try different sounds if the word isn't turning into something that you know. All right, let's clear this off and get to some sentence correction. All right, pick a sentence that you'd like to correct and then check your work with what I'm doing here on the screen. And number 1, Griffin is a name, so we'll capitalize that. It's also the first word of the sentence, so that gets capitalized no matter what. Griffin has went to see the movie Spider-Man 5 times. Okay, well, we don't say has went. Griffin has, we could say has been or has gone. Either one would be fine there. I'll put gone, but you could put been as well. Has been or has gone to see the movie Spider-Man 5 times. Period at the end. But Spider-Man, we would want to put that in italics and capitalize it because it is the name of a movie. So that would look like this. All right, and number 2. Donna and Max and Cameron, they are siblings. Ooh, well, let's take out some of these ands here. And we probably don't need they because we're already saying their names. That would just be an extra word that we don't need. So how can we do that? We could say Donna, capitalize her name, comma, Let's take out this and here. Donna, Max, another name, so capitalize it. And then we need to continue our list, so we'll put a comma here. Donna, Max, and Cameron are siblings, period at the end. That means they're all brothers and sisters. All right, that's the end of that. Number 3, me and Eric go snowboarding together. Okay, what we would do instead of this is we would say Eric and I go, instead of goes, we would say just go. So we'll mark this part out. Eric and I go snowboarding together. We're going to actually pull together. No space between two and gather. And we need to put an E here between the th and the r at the end. Together, period. All right, let's capitalize the first word of the sentence here. The weather forecast is for rain and wind. Okay, we've got the wrong kind of weather here. We need to make this weather with EA. EA can make an sound, like in the word bread. The weather forecast is for rain and wind. Period at the end. Number 5. Our youngest brother was born in March. Ooh. Okay, our at the beginning of a sentence usually is asking a question. What we actually need here is a possessive word here, our. Our youngest brother was born, not borned, in March. Born is not a word. We're going to capitalize March because it's the name of a month, and we'll put a period at the end. All right, number 6. Ramona and Her Mother is a great book. All right, so we have the title of a book here. So I'm going to grab my italics and I'm going to capitalize Ramona and her mother. All that needs to be capitalized. Another way that we can show this is a book is to underline the title. Ramona and Her Mother is a great book. Not this kind of great. There is a great that's spelled with a consonant E, but not this one. Great. Long E spelled with EA. Period at the end. Ramona and Her Mother is a great book. Might even, if you think it's really great, you could put an exclamation point if you want. All right, those are your corrections for today. I will see you tomorrow with more words and more sentences for you. Take care. Bye-bye.